echacha obi biara sabre ensem de ebi wo fie ha ensem no yemunra ensem no emu
Accra High Court, the criminal division of the Accra High Court. Now, example, court you etnasi on one case that involves the former chief executive officer of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company Limited, operator Hassan Abdul Rahman Alidiba. That I think so. Nipa naya example, wakana ho. Ni na no say during their time in office, or more than one about community at say, and to Ankuli, and not so under the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, and now by Sabrina, one do not be a patient, you cover all you do not be a ọmọdé asẹm náà ẹbi akọdan kọ sẹkọọtù náà ṣẹ náà yẹ ọfẹyì ẹntì nánà ẹnna abisafo kọọtù náà ẹtìnà ase yẹdi kan bẹm adeti bebree na kọọtù náà ẹtìnà ase náà ẹnna abisafo ẹyẹ the prosecution abisafo ẹyẹ adeɛ sɛ ɔmo ɛfa ɛyɛ two witness statement ɛwɔ asɛm yi sɛ ɛnyɛ nka kọọtù náà hwɛ na ɛnna ɛwɔ ntini ɛnyɛ wɔn nsɛm no. Looking at the objections from the defendants, the counsel for the accused, Godfrey the former attorney general at the moment, considering objections of the court, and also the other court, the prosecution, two witness statements, I'm filing every court court. I dare say Omabo Etini every October. So the court ruled that the prosecution led by SC Yanka, they failed to seek leave of the court to file the statement that could not prove legal authority for their submission, violating the practice direction governing the criminal proceedings. The defense argued that the filings were unlawful because the statements of the same defense were had already been adopted during the case management conference. And in Joshua, said in University, naturally said, so the prosecution only see at 2 manner. Naturally said, a man and said, the 2 manner. Naturally said, I'm cool, and example, and I'm so a man, your course, and the chair said, there be, said, they see in your manner, and I just said, to me, and your course, and say, almost some of the banana, and I said, a more statement, I'm a file a buying now, a more putting up every October. Sabrina, course, and I see, and all the time to be money, feed me, and I be for or more everything at Tenacity, or making me actual as saying, so now prosecution, and they were required to demonstrate that the new material, now they buy, they were not previously available, and I meant to by amendment and procedure and after 1990 that requirement. And again, on the same day, the court had also removed a local lawyer from the prosecution team due to failure to prove proper authorization under the Law Officers Act of 1974. And then OSHA said in NDC court, and I just said certain requirements the prosecution was supposed to meet, and now they say or more 18 areas. And then lawyer Godfrey the Odame as counsel, the lead counsel for the accused. They could be a court and say prosecution or statement of the binding with the team about the October. And in the say on the 5th of May, court and everything as a natural say what in now what in the every 2 United States Apostle, and to me, every update of the court, Abaka inside the presiding judge, now a case with Justice Francis Achibonda of the Court of Appeal, on Wakuya and or Tenase as additional High Court judge, the ruling, and so every Okoya, Saturday, a whole update, to the young court into other stores, no one some kaka. When I finish, I want to update young family 18 ml. Member of Parliament for Asebu Felix Patio for success.
that the LGBT issues are not a priority for Ghanaians. That's how he puts it. It's not a priority for Ghanaians. I don't know whether he's speaking about himself or he's speaking about me or speaking about you, but he said it's not a priority for Ghanaians. We'll assume that he means all Ghanaians. Wow, that's a big thing to say for the government communication minister is speaking on behalf of Ghanaians on a matter like that. Sensitive matter. I don't know whether he's conducted some research. He may have, but he says it's not a priority for Ghanaians. Do you agree with that? You were one of the promoters of the original bill. What's the latest? There's some sentiments change in there. Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. In fact, right from August 2017, as you can see on the screen, that was when I held the first conference on LGBT in Parliament. And on record, I'm yet to come across any LGBT first conference ever held in Parliament. August 2017, and that was the time Speaker Okwe was the speaker. And in fact, he was very strong in supporting advocacy that we mounted. Somewhere along the line in 2021, Honorable Sam George and a group of our colleagues also came together, and we shared in that conviction that indeed the 1960 Criminal and Other Offences Act was just a string of legislation which is not encompassing and comprehensive enough to deal with all the emerging dimensions of LGBT, and therefore a new bill is necessary. And there was a spirited advocacy for it. At some point, the NDC, led by their presidential candidate, the President John Mahama, recognized that moral needs that we're all trying to advocate about. They recognized it. They piloted it all in Asin North. I'm in Asin South. So when the by-election came up in Asin North, they piloted that weaponization, that propaganda of LGBT politics, and it worked for the by-election. The only message they brought was that, look, there's nothing about this election. MPP has only 137 and 158, and we have 137. And some of their members don't normally come to Parliament. They need an extra seat to solidify their lead, to go and pass a bill to now allow any man to marry any man, any woman to marry any woman. And that is why the Human Social Rights bill that is before them, they don't want to pass it, they don't want to sign it, and then they believe it, and then they voted for that. So when they piloted that situation and they worked for that situation, they went to schools, and then they started engaging stakeholders, in rulers, pastors, in groups, and some of them came public. And those that came public are the videos we just played. Also, there was more security. There were a lot of engagement that did not even come to a screen. And he got the clergy to rally around us. Because this is something that is an abomination in the Bible, abomination, haram in Quran, and it's an abomination in our traditional system. And wherever you take it, an Alpha Biometer survey conducted by CBD indicates, and so even by now it will even be more, that 93% of our population find it repugnant. They meld, they exploit all these moral issues, and then only to promise that they will sign. And so one of the biggest deception was that they succeeded in tracing and pressing to every Ghanaian that the bill was passed and presented to President Akufo-Addo, and President Akufo-Addo refused to sign it. And so President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia have refused to sign it, and the bill is at Jubilee House. So he voted as president. So they voted for him. This evening, I was on the show. He said one of the pastors, very respected pastors, who was at that meeting, who got up and clapped and went and laid hands on him and blew all kinds of tongues on him, came confessing that Reverend Tahuti, he expressed his biggest disappointment. Well, he has never ever been disappointed and deceived the way President Muhammad deceived them. And because of the promise and the deception that he would be the one to sign the bill, he actually voted for President Muhammad in NDC because of the deception. Only for them to turn around to now throw it out of the table and declare authoritatively that it is out of the question, it is not out of the priority, and now he's seeking to solve all basic needs before he takes a look at LGBT. That is a simple U-turn. That is a disappointing deception. That is a scam. But first, you can scam youth when you promise them 24-hour economy and then turn around to take 111 million cities from them, and then turn around to disqualify them and say, I have just a place for 5,000 for you. You can scam them and promise them one job, 3 shifts, 3 persons, to turn around, collect hundreds of millions from them, only to disappoint them. You can scam everybody around Galamsey and say that I'll save the environment, I'll stop the destruction of our environment, save our waters, and come and muddy the waters, poison the waters 10 times what you condemned. You can scam Galamsey. You can scam cocoa farmers and promise them 6,500 cedis per bag, come and maybe reduce it to below 2,600. You can scam farmers. But when you look, clergy, imams, pastors, apostles, bishops, archbishops in the faith, and then you lie to them that vote me in power, pray for me, weaponize the purpose for me, do all kinds of things, agenda for me, and I will come and sign the bill. And he said, he promised them and said, when I come, LGBT will never get to our schools, only for you to come. And the first thing you did was a state-sponsored LGBT couple from South Africa, 2 young men who came and kissed openly and under our national monument, our most sacred monument, the Independence Act and the Family Human Mausoleum. All these national security zones where Comrade surveillance, 24/7 surveillance, under the full glare of national security. They came and did all that, did photo shoots, campaign openly that gay, lesbian, homosexual, come out, do whatever you want. It's granted you in a second independence. Nobody do anything to you. Indeed, nothing was done to them. They went. President Mahama sent to Peter Blatter and the ambassador to UN Human Rights Council. In that same year, they went and when an important vote on LGBT was passed, they ran away and abstained. Contrary to the position, the conservative position of this country, all this while, they ran away. We were warning the population, Ghanaians, that let us be careful. Nobody would listen. Then they went and printed LGBT definitions into our books, sponsored by Ghana Education Service in NACA and under the supervision of Ministry of Education.
You're talking now. That's what has happened.
I am talking now.
Are you serious?
I am talking now. And Paul, this is the book. You know what is it called? It is called Physical Education and Health Elective. Physical Education.
Which year did it come to curricula?
2025. Copyright 2025. This is it. 2025. This is a government teacher manual. It is not a private textbook. The President Mahama sits in Jubilee House and gives his command. And it trickles down the ministry, goes to NACA, goes to GS, they print these books, distribute them to schools, hold the workshop to train teachers how to deliver this instruction. And the first week 1, Paul, please read for me what the definition of gender identity. Number 4 is gender.
Week 1 is for what class?
This is for ethics. This ethics book. Then the first week
is sexual orientation.
Gender identity. All the
one is sex. 2 is sexuality. 3 is sexual orientation. 4 is gender identity. 5 is gender expression. 6 is consent. So
gender identity.
The honorable member wants me to read 4. It says, it refers to a person's deeply felt internal experience of gender, which may or may not correspond with the sex assigned at birth. It can include being male, female, or blend both. This concept goes beyond the binary notion of gender, male and female, and recognizes the diversity of gender experiences and expressions. This is evil. And this is the curricula.
This has been taught already. This is not in the curriculum.
The same thing we taught when Napo was minister and they took out and all that.
If this had happened under the Kufado, all hell would have broken loose. Imagine, fancy a situation anywhere under the 8-year rule of President Kufado, that any textbook, teacher manual, any teacher and learning material whatsoever in our schools, having this definition, the kind of press conference, the demonstration, that our pastors, our imams, our traditional rulers, and politicians would have mounted against President Akufo-Addo. But this has been state-sponsored by President Mahama. When I exposed them and caught them red-handed, they initially denied. Then I brought the book. Then they came out and said it was an error. It indeed was an error. Immediately, NACA Director General should have been fired. GES Director General should have been fired. Not less than 3 people should have been fired if indeed you are the president who promised our pastors, our imams, and our chiefs, looked at them in the face and lied to them that you should be the one who should take stand. And you make sure you safeguard the content of our schools, only for you to come and say that somebody made an error and put it in the book that is approved by NACA, printed with state money, distributed, and also in our schools. In our 2 and 4 system, you have put in their subconscious memory. In examination, wherever they are going, that's what they are rehearsing. Yes, in the examination, they are rehearsing. Yes, in the examination, they are expected to reproduce the same thing. So I am yet to see anybody fired for this. I am yet to see any circular going to schools. They only did deceptive sections of some very sinful first statement that we are recalling it. We have recalled it was all lies. All the teachers teaching it will tell you the books are still with them. Nobody has even given them a circular. Nobody has written to any headmaster or any regional director that takes steps to unlearn these diabolical concepts. No one has done that. And yet you still have the confidence. Come and tell Ghanaians, because when you did all these things, everybody kept quiet. And so now you think that you have succeeded in ensuring that as liberal party as you are, your true colors are now reflecting in the teaching manuals in schools, and so you can come and tell Ghanaians, so you have won their vote, that it is not a priority, it is still a priority. President Mahama said his priority is life. This is the reason why when the bill was introduced in Parliament, the same bill that was so attractive to them, the same bill that was their major priority, the same bill that was their major attraction, now the first time they saw it on the other paper, they all were appalled. They quickly distanced themselves from it and deleted it immediately from the other paper. So it hasn't come to the floor for second reading. Press conferences, advocacies, pushing, prayer, everything. We combined it for 7 months before it came back on the other paper. And when it got back to the other paper, today, it is tomorrow or next week or next month that the Constitutional Legal Committee will hold a meeting and invite sponsors to come and consider it. I am still waiting for such an invitation. It is not part of their priorities. So you read the first time going to committee, but the committee is not dealing with it somewhere because the photo is coming from Jubilee House. But who sets the agenda for the committee, Chairman? The agenda for Parliament is set by Jubilee House because the Speaker of Parliament is the leader. He is the head in charge of the whole Parliament. If you are not a Parliament, for you to even rise up to speak, you must catch the eye of the Speaker for him to ask you to speak. For any bill to be introduced, whether a statement bill, any legislation, whether government sponsored or private members bill, the Speaker of Parliament must approve. The majority leader, he is the leader of government business. He is the chairman of the business committee. So if he doesn't authorize it,